but a good friend, Danny, has put a couple of the quotes up on the Twitter machine. So we'll read from that. And basically the headline was, if I get this correctly, Stu Sternberg. Oh God, where is it here? Basically, Sternberg has not told, or is not. Let me get the exact quotes here.
All right.
Okay, here it is. Sternberg has made no public comment to dispel rumors about a possible deal that has been simmering for nearly 3 months, nor has he engaged the investor groups directly to state he isn't interested in selling the team, sources have told the Tampa Bay Business Journal. Okay, that's a lot to unpack there. So Sternberg has made no public comment to dispel rumors about a possible deal. So he hasn't talked about the rumors. So he hasn't dispelled the rumors that he's going to sell. Okay. So he didn't say, I mean, what does that even mean?
Is he supposed to?
Like, I guess. Like, if so, should he come out and say, no, I'm not? He told the St. Pete Times he's not selling. The team's not for sale. Although myself, Jeff Passan, Buster Olney, Ken Rosenthal, who am I missing? Ellen Drelich have all reported that the Rays are in talks with groups to buy the team.
Well, Rob Manfred sort of alluded to that.
That's
the commissioner.
Exactly. So the team is for sale. He is listening to people. Now he said Sternberg is yet to outline plans for a permanent home for the team, which is expected to return to the Trop next season after the completion of repairs to the hurricane-ravaged stadium. Okay, well, yes, he has not outlined a plan for a stadium. And Manfred asked him for that, 3 months ago? What's your plan, Stu? Still no public plan.
0 for 4.
Also in the piece, my man Danny Boy Kane, good follow on Twitter, said, while Manfred has voiced support for keeping the Rays in Tampa Bay, he and other MLB owners have still been open to meeting with the Dreamers. According to John Morgan, a member of the Dreamers, that piece also said that Manfred asked Stu, what's his plan? Yeah. The TBJ piece also says Sternberg has made no public comment to dispel rumors about a possible deal. Yeah. So basically what this story is about is he has said, and I can't read the whole story, so I don't know exactly what it is. And evidently they won't send it to us. So thanks. So the sources are telling Christina that he hasn't talked to the people to say, no, we're not interested. So that means he's interested. So I don't know. I don't know the whole, I don't get this story. Basically, somebody is telling him that they haven't met with 3 of the groups, but there's still a 4th group, the one that we've been talking about, that they have met with. And the MLB is aware of them, and they're working on a deal. This is what I've been told. This is what Jeff Passan's been told. This is what Ken Rosenthal has been told. This is what we've all reported. So, I don't know what this story is about, except to say that he hasn't come out to dispel the rumors. No, he hasn't. No. Well, actually, he has, because he did tell the Times that the team's not for sale. So here's my feeling on the whole thing. It's a bunch of muckety muck. It's a bunch of nothing, really, because he's not saying that he's not selling, but he's not saying that he's selling. So
by not grabbing headlines, he's grabbing headlines.
Right. I'm not quite sure what that means. Has made no public comment to dispel rumors. Nor has he engaged the investor groups directly to say he isn't interested in selling the team. So he hasn't gone to them and say, I'm not interested. He just hasn't, engaged with them, which is something we reported. Carter McCain is one of those groups. He came on the show. We asked him, have you talked to the Rays? No. Joe Malloy, have you talked to the Rays? No. They haven't had direct conversations. The group that I know of, the quote unnamed group, have they talked to the Rays? Yes, they have. I'm reporting that. Jeff Passan has reported that. Everybody's reported that. So, yeah, I still believe there are things going on behind the scenes. Again, there's a lot of noise from Orlando. No disrespect, but it's just noise. There's nothing there. There's no there. They haven't allocated public money. They haven't secured a site. All they have is people talking about, we want to buy the team, and here's some pretty pictures. Okay, that's great and fantastic and good luck, but it's not meaningful. Just because they're making noise doesn't mean there's, quote, something happening in Orlando. They just want to buy a team. So does Portland. They've passed public money to do so and have identified a site and have renderings. Other places, in North Carolina, they're further along than they are in Orlando. They just don't get up and yell and scream and say things every day. Because that's what Major League Baseball wants. Do your due diligence, get your stuff passed, show us where it's going to be, show us the amount of public money, who's your anchor investor, show us all that. And then when it comes time when we finally get done with this shenanigans with Sternberg and we get the public situation settled in Tampa with the new stadium where it's going to be and everything, then we can move forward with the expansion in these other markets. And sorry to say, when Tampa figures out where it's going to be and the team gets sold, in my opinion, Orlando's not going to be a candidate because you're too close and you're part of this market as far as Major League Baseball season. So if they have to choose between Tampa and Orlando, I think the choice is pretty obvious where they want to be. And it's obvious by what Manfred has said multiple times. So as far as the story goes, again, I haven't read the whole thing, but in the key clips that I've been sent, I don't see anything there. It's basically saying that he hasn't told the groups that he's not interested, and hasn't talked to 3 specific groups and there's another group that is interested. So yeah, he may not have talked to those 3 groups, but he did talk to this other one, according to multiple sources and multiple reporters. So I wouldn't say that, something has to happen. He's got to either sell the team or get a stadium deal here. And he's not getting a stadium deal here. He's not, because they're not. St. Pete doesn't want to work with him. Pinellas County doesn't want to work with him. And Tampa doesn't want to work with him. They all on the record have said that. So could that change? I guess, but I don't think it will. I think MLB would rather have new owners, new ownership, deeper pockets, people that are beloved and trusted in this marketplace, and would make great owners. Why wouldn't they want that, as opposed to what they have now?
Well, and isn't Tampa and St. Pete, that's considered one geographical market, right? Like Dallas, Fort Worth is together,
and including Sarasota,
right?
Points north in Pasco County and Lakeland. This whole 7-county area is our media demographic, and it's the 11th largest in the United States and growing by leaps and bounds. It'll probably be in the top 10 in the next 2 or 3 years.
And way bigger than Orlando is by itself over
way
there,
bigger,
right? With
way
Lakeland
bigger.
And
I would say way bigger. The Orlando area is the 15th largest. But the idea is to capture both markets. Right. And by doing that, you're not going to put the stadium in Lakeland. That doesn't make any sense. You're going to put it in the better, more dense market, which is Tampa Bay, and Tampa specifically. That's where it should be.
Think of it this way. They wouldn't put an NHL team or an NFL team in Orlando. They wouldn't do that. Neither league would allow that, because that's too close to their existing franchise.
Right. Exactly.
And leagues have franchise, boundaries, right? Like Jerry Jones owns whatever. That's why they could never put an NFL team in Fort Worth without his permission, because, and even down to San Antonio, that's been contested. People have wanted a NFL team in San Antonio.
Right.
Well, Jerry Jones owns that market. So, right. I mean, there's a lot more to it than just Orlando maybe could support a team better than they think Tampa can. It's way more to it than that.
And I don't want to get into all that, Orlando's a great market, and I want to pit Tampa against Orlando. It should be, hey, how can we help each other get more people to Magic games and get more people to Rays games and Lightning games and Bucks games? That's what it should be about. I mean, Orlando's a fine market, but when all of these Orlando people are coming at me, just telling me how terrible the Tampa market is, I'm just like, hey, man, you haven't been here. You don't know what we've dealt with. And it's a huge reason why people don't go to the games, this ownership group. It happens all over sports, and it's happening in Miami. It happens in a lot of different places where when the town sours on an ownership group, they're not going to support them, and then they need to be replaced. And that happened here with Vince Namoli,
right?
And now it needs to happen with Stu Sternberg, in my opinion.
Rays fans deserve a good owner.
They do. They really do, and they deserve a new stadium.
Yep.
And they deserve it being in a centrally located area. That's what most baseball programs have. Why can't we have that? Why can't we have nice things?
You can.
Yes,
you just
we
need
can.
an owner that will accommodate
it. Look at the Lightning. Look at the Bucks.
Yeah.
We can have nice things. It's all about ownership. So, and I don't want to make this all about Sternberg because the team's playing well. It's really playing well. It's a game over 500 now. They're back in the mix. 6.5 back of the Yankees. Now they got to get it going. I mean, we've seen this. They've had a couple hot spurts, couple dead spots. It kind of looks like a 500 team, but Josh Lowe is back, and they put him at the top of the lineup. Yandy in the 3-hole, like that a lot better. They're starting to score more runs. Simpson obviously is a catalyst. I'd like to see him more at the top of the lineup, but I don't know why the hell they put him in the 6-hole, but I think I like Josh Lowe up there up top, better than Yandy Diaz. I like Yandy in the 3-hole, the 2-hole, 3-hole. And I'd go Simpson, Yandy, Bilal, J-Lo, Caminero. I'm sorry, Randa, Caminero. I mean, you stack those guys all together. That's a nice lineup. It's a really nice lineup, but we don't do it. I don't understand that. I just that's my lineup. Or you've got guys in there that are red hot, obviously, in Brandon Lau. You got to ride him right now. I mean, he does not sit. And Caminero getting a home run, a little inconsistent, but he's got that power.
Yeah.
And teams fear him. And you saw yesterday why. So this lineup's getting a little thicker. And when Hassan Kim comes back, or makes his appearance, I should say, which he's getting close, that adds a lot better bat to the shortstop position and also a Gold Glover. So that's going to be an upgrade, even though, Taylor Walls and Caballero played pretty damn good shortstop. And the defense has been outstanding, absolutely outstanding. That'll continue to play. And the starting pitching has seemed to come around. So this team is primed to make a run. Now, the downside, they're going to play a lot of road games in July and August, a ton of road games, which actually they played better on the road than they have at home. So,
they're in Houston tonight, and I'm sure they'll have the roof closed because it's hot as hell in Houston right now.
Yeah. So is that a bad thing? I mean,
no.
Typically they may regress to the mean on the road, but pitching and defense travels. It travels, and I expect that should not fall off. So this team, look, they're right on the edge of a wild card. Right, to me, this is a team that's going to hover around 500. But if they can make a little bit of a run, then the whole thing is, man, if they can keep Bilal and J-Lo healthy, and Kim can bring what he can bring, and Simpson continues to hit the ball and be a catalyst. And and if they could trade for a big right-handed bat that plays left field, boy, they would really, really have a nice lineup and a good shot at it. And I'm talking about getting someone who makes money. Going out and spending some extra money, adding payroll, and let Neander go make a trade. He's got a surplus of pitching right now, which everybody wants, especially starting pitching. So I would think you would have enough ammunition to go get a really good outfield slugger, and that would complete your lineup right now. If you're asking me, Aranda's been great at first base. Yandy's your DH. Bilal's getting hot at second. Hassan Kim at short, brings a good offensive punch, or much better than obviously Taylor Walls. You got Caminero at short. Jansen's actually starting to hit behind the plate, and the Matt Face, who they just brought in, at least hits above 200. That's a plus. And then in the outfield, if you could add a slugger, and then you have Simpson, and then you have J-Lo. So I mean that's a good team. That's a good defensive team. That's a team that can have some jacks. But the key is to get a left fielder. I know you got Mangum, you got Meisner. They're good players. I like what they bring to the table, so there's opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity here for this team to get consistent and get better.